You're watching Mid-American Conference basketball on ESPN. Two-time defending Mid-American Conference champion Buffalo Bulls off to an 0-1 start here in 2020, and they're on the road for Game 2, taking on the white-hot Ball State Cardinals. We welcome you courtside here at Johnny Worthen Arena. The point guard, David Eha, the academic All-American, Brian Thornton, Joel Godet. So glad to have you along with us. We'll hear from Sam Johnson on the sidelines in just a second. We are one game into conference play. 0-1 on the top of the West, Toledo. 0-1 on the top of the East, Bowling Green. Buffalo, 0-1. Ball State, the team that knocked off Toledo on Friday night. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I think what it shows you, Joel, is this league is probably as wide open as it's been in the last 5 years. That being said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But, BT, you don't want to start 0-2.
Absolutely. If you're Buffalo, you're a team that's had a tremendous level of success the last few years. You've been to NCAA tournaments. You've won a ton of games. You do not want to start 0-2 in a MAC league that is wide open.
This is a Buffalo team that, yes, has been to consecutive NCAA tournaments, made it to the second round a year ago, but the core of that has since graduated. 4 of their top 5 scorers are gone, including 3 starters. Nick Perkins was the 6th man of the year in the MAC last season. C.J. Massenberg was the player of the year. Filling that void, David, has fallen to the junior Javon Graves.
Yeah, that's right. He has taken his scoring, Joel, from 9 a game all the way up to 16. Second in the Mid-American Conference. Javon Graves can do it all, has deep, deep range. Made 7 triples in a game this year, has the ability to get out in transition. You can see the athleticism there by the flush. The thing about Javon Graves, coming off a subpar performance against Northern Illinois, 5 of 19 from the field, just 2 of 10 behind the arc. You better believe Javon Graves is going to try to get back on track tonight against the Cardinals.
BT, Ishmael El-Amin, not subpar in the win against Toledo. He dropped 17 and led the way.
Ishmael El-Amin is certainly having an awesome start to his junior year. The son of UConn great Khalid El-Amin is leading Ball State in scoring at close to 15 points a game. He's shooting 50% from the field and 47% from 3. When you match it up with the fact that he also shoots 82% from the line, you have a guy who's extremely, extremely good right now for Ball State. His move off the point guard to a 2-guard position has allowed him to focus on his scoring and less about playmaking. But his ability to use ball screens to get to the rim, to score around the rim, also shoot floaters, mid-range game. When you match that up with his ability to shoot from deep, deep range, you have a guy who's leading Ball State in scoring, and it's the reason why Ball State is 1-0 in the MAC play so far.
Cardinals fresh off that victory against Toledo, 61-57 on Friday night. Let's introduce you now baseline to the 4th member of our crew and say hey to Samantha Johnson.
Hey, Joel, we've all heard the saying, offense wins games, defense wins championships. And tonight, keep your eye on that Ball State defense, the #1 defense in the Mid-American Conference, allowing on average only 69 points per game. Of course, they've also held 5 of their 14 opponents to their lowest point total on the season so far. But of course, tonight met by the 2nd best offense in the Mid-American Conference, the Bulls putting up an average of 80.2 points per game. Simply put, Joel, someone's got to give. And Coach Whitford told his men active hands and active feet on the ball will be one way to slow down the Bulls.
Samantha, thank you. Ball State coming in 8-6, 1-0 in conference. Buffalo 9-5, 0-1 in the league. Well, it says E's keys, but BT, take it for me here for a second.
In terms of this game, you know, Buffalo points off turnovers. They're going to play downhill. They're trying to be extremely, extremely quick. They're one of the top 3 teams in the country in terms of pace of play. So we have to make sure that we do a great job. The Ball State does a great job of getting back and leveling them off in transition.
Bulls played the toughest non-conference schedule of anybody in the Mid-American Conference this year. Ball State, the 2nd best. Best on best here, and Josh Mbala didn't even get off the ground for the opening tip. We are underway with an opening Ball State possession. 73 points per game for this Cardinals team. Get back-to-back home games to open up the league slate. Here's El-Amin, team's leading scorer with its 2nd leading scorer now, Tajay Teague, coasting right to the bucket. That was far too easy.
Tajay Teague took the ball straight down the middle of the lane, did a great job of scoring.
Javon Graves for the first time here for Buffalo.
Both these teams are going to play man-to-man.
That's a big three. Get you going for Janathan Williams. 31% from behind the arc. Need him to get going if you're Buffalo.
Yeah, you really do. He's just 3 of 11 in the last 2 games, so that definitely helps the Bulls' success from behind the arc early for Williams.
Cardinals tried the pick and roll. Here's Tajay Teague. Nice rip baseline and taking Josh Mballa to task down on the block.
Great move by Tajay Teague. Ball State has to continue to throw the ball into Teague. From a talent standpoint, he's one of the best big men in the Mid-American Conference.
And scoring, kind of the worst thing he does. It's all the other things, like rebounding and then running the break.
Yeah, he does it all, Joel, for a guy that's 6'8", runs the floor, leads this team in steals.
How about Boogie Coleman? Dribble penetration has been too easy. It's been an offensive clinic on the first couple possessions for the home team.
Ball State's off to a great start. Jerron Coleman is a big guard. When he can get his shoulder on you, he has the ability to get to the basket and score through contact.
Cardinals 3 of their first 3 from the floor. They haven't taken a 3 yet. There's a second 3 from Buffalo, in and out. Javon Graves missing his first look.
Good job by the guards rebounding down. That's one of the keys of the game. This Buffalo team, second in the nation in offensive rebounding. It's going to take all 5 Cardinals on the defensive glass.
Buffalo has 0 rebounds. There's the first Ball State 3. Rims out for Kyle Mallers. Antoine Johnson, the senior, in the starting lineup, the transfer out of Middle Tennessee. Javon Graves missing his second 3. 1 and done for the Bulls.
Ball State a little bit lucky right there. That was a wide open 3 for Javon Graves. He had to do a great job of finding him. He's a really good shooter.
You surprised at how Ball State has handled the pressure, or maybe lack thereof, here early on from the Bulls defense?
Look, they were definitely prepared for this. I mean, you cannot simulate the Bulls' ball pressure in practice.
Coleman wide open. Devontae Jordan is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, and he gave Coleman just a little bit too much space.
And I tell you, Boogie dropped it down. And I tell you, 2 freshmen, Joel, going against the better defenders in the Mid-American Conference thus far, handling this pressure.
Tried the high-low for Mballa. There's Tajay Teague doing all the other things again.
Tajay extremely active around the rim, but he was aided by the ball pressure of Jerron Coleman. He made that a very tough pass for Tajay to pick off.
Mallers out to Bumbelow, shot fake, steps left, and the 3 is well short. Devontae Jordan may have gotten a hand on that. Straight to the bucket, Graves forcing the issue.
That's an example of Ball State having to get back in transition. No one leveled off Graves. He was able to drive the ball down the middle of the lane without Ball State really corralling the ball.
Buffalo is one of those teams that is hard to play defense against because they're so good on offense, but it's really the first 6 or 7 seconds of the shot clock. That's where you have to be elite. El Amin missing the runner.
They are one of the fastest teams in the league, in the country.
El Amin giving a dose of its own medicine. Tajay Teague off the feed. The Cardinals started slow in their opener against Toledo. Not the case in game number 2. 5 of their first 8 from the floor. Jordan's open, and off the wing, misses the 3. Rebounded to Mallers. Coleman's just a freshman, playing very well against one of the best teams in this league. El Amin, short on the 3.
That last possession, Ball State didn't do a good job of getting the ball inside at all. Tajay Teague stayed on the perimeter the entire time, and Ball State didn't have anything going towards the rim.
Janathan Williams goes right to the rim for Buffalo. The thing you haven't seen, though, in this game is Ball State get jostled. And that's been the characteristic of playing Buffalo the last couple of years when they were a top 25 team a year ago. There's a composure that's good to see if you're James Whitford's team.
Absolutely, and like we said, particularly with 2 freshmen in the backcourt, they needed to handle that pressure right from the get-go.
How about Teague? Little step back in the corner. Oh, did Ball State come to play tonight? He has 6 of his team's 13. Nice dime underneath, and Mballa finishes. So Buffalo's got the flair as well. Still a 4-point lead for the home team.
You can tell that we're almost 6 minutes into the game, and you can tell both teams are starting to get a little bit fatigued waiting on this first media timeout.
Someone's looking to the sideline going, they were supposed to stop a minute and a half ago, right?
You're going to see a lot of guys raising their fists looking for a sub here in a second.
It's turning into a 6-minute war. Jordan's the best defender in the league, and Coleman lost the ball. And that goes down as a foul and a hold on the Buffalo Bulls. It's the first on Antoine Johnson. But how about Tajay Teague getting it done?
The big fella, the little step back money for Tajay Teague.
Mid-American Conference basketball on ESPN is brought to you in part by Hayes & Sons. We do restoration right. And by Mutual Bank. Go ahead, live a better life. Buffalo Bulls in the second round of the NCAA tournament last year got knocked out by Texas Tech. Of course, the Red Raiders made a run all the way to the national championship game. Buffalo has been about 3 cuts above the last several years in the Mid-American Conference, guys. Last 10 years, the 3rd winningest team in the league.
Yeah, it's an incredible run. Think about last year, Joel. They spent every week inside the AP top 25, ended the season ranked 15th in the nation.
Kyle Maller's missing the 3 out of the timeout. What's been good? What did Nate Oates, Bobby Hurley started it. Nate Oates took over when Hurley got the Arizona State job. It just ticked up a notch over the last couple seasons.
Quite honestly, they did an outstanding job in recruiting. You know, they brought in some players that the MAC hasn't seen in many, many years. And you know what? They say it's about the Jimmies and Joes.
Little floater misses for Javon Graves. The funny thing is that the best of the Joes was C.J. Massenberg, like a 0-star recruit coming out of high school.
Well, to latch on to Brian's point, I think the other thing, you know, what do coaches talk about? We want to get old and stay old. You saw guys that were in the program, and then they brought transfers in. Guy like Wes Clark. They had veterans in that group, and that's why this is a little bit different animal that Jim Weitzel's dealing with, which much more youth.
Foul on Javon Graves is his first, and Mallers is fouled right on the end out of bounds. Ronaldo Segu hit with his first. Nate Oates takes the Alabama job in the offseason. Whitesell promoted, former head coach at Loyola Chicago, Division II Lewis before that, so he knows what it's like to be in this seat. Had been with Nate Oates for so many years, so it's almost just a continuation of the same program, the same culture. They still come out in mechanic shirts during shoot-around, the blue-collar mentality. But, yeah, it is a little bit of a rebuild when 4 of your 5 top guys graduate and a whole host of transfers come in. Mallers is 2 for 2.
And oh, by the way, 5 of the guys that left are now playing professionally, either in the G League like Massenberg or overseas.
Jordan got in deep. Segu, guarded by the freshman Bumbalo, right to the front side of the 10 and scores. And they got to grow up fast. These are sophomores that played last year, but played supporting roles.
Absolutely. You know, anytime you bring in transfers, you still have to have some stability with guys who've been in the program previously. And, you know, Buffalo has some of those guys, but like you said, they weren't primary guys in the past, but they're primary guys now. And Javon Graves is a great example of a guy who stepped up into that role.
Segu goes over the screen, so nothing for Bumbalo. 7 seconds to shoot. KJ Walton's first action in off the bench, and he coughs it up. There is a foul, and it is a charge. Good job to step in front. LaQuill Hartnett, one of those transfers, redshirted at Cincinnati last year.
Right there, you have KJ Walton kind of flies in there, gets a charge. KJ hasn't played the last few games, has struggled with a little bit of an ankle issue, but it's good to have him back on the court because he is the most athletic guy in the league.
Yeah, absolutely, BT. I mean, that's one of the bright spots. At least you're seeing KJ Walton attack the glass, and really good minutes off the bench right now for Rondo Segou.
Averages 9 points a game. Half his shots are threes, but he's gone strong to the rim. Couple possessions in a row now. Backdoor pick and roll there. Turned over by the Cardinals, their second. Graves with a no-look kick out, and Jordan pays him off with an assist on the wing. All right, sometimes it just works out.
That's where Buffalo is at their best. Turning you over, getting out in transition. That time it was a 3 by Jordan on the secondary break.
That's a 7-0 Buffalo run now. Has taken the lead. Mallers to take it back in the corner. Ball State by 2.
Ball State needed that 3 by Kyle Mallers. They needed this second unit to kind of settle in. Like you said, it was a 7-0 run for Buffalo here lately.
Off the bench, David Nickelberry, the Memphis transfers back tap. Third turnover, KJ Walton shows his athleticism. David, that's what Ball State had been missing, that slinkage down the lane. Foul on Josh Thompson.
Absolutely, turnabout fair play. Cards getting the turnover, and KJ Walton, good to have him back in the scoring column if you're a Ball State fan.
4-point lead for Ball State. Game 2 of conference action. Get out and run when you got the chance.
Tadlock is picking tonight's trivia contest, but Courtney is going to need help from you in the audience. We've also got Charlie Cardinal here as well to help out. It's going to be a real tough question. Are you ready? All right, I love the Ball State shirt, so you're already of the right mindset. Let us take a look at the video board. The question is, what is the Ball State men's basketball record for wins in a season? It's a tough one here. A27. B28, C29, or D30. Crowd, do you have any advice? I'm hearing a letter that similar to what his name starts with. You think you got it? Let me hear that again. She said C29. You are correct. Congratulations. You will win a great trivia prize package courtesy of Ball State Online. Nice work. Do you know what year that was? Do you? 1988-89. What a year.
Ball State leads by 4 over the Buffalo Bulls. Someone's going to have to play some defense here at some point. Ball State 61%, Buffalo 58%. I mean, the thing for Ball State has been defense this season. It's how it's won games.
Yeah, it really has. And right now, the Bulls are shooting 58%, as you said, 7 of 12 from the field. Cards with 3 turnovers, Bulls 5 points out. I think, Brian, that is a key stat for both of these teams. When they have struggled turning the ball over, it has really led to bad things happening on the defensive end.
You're absolutely right. And when you struggle in that way, it leads to fast break opportunities. And that's where both teams are scoring right now, is in transition.
It's hard to get fast break points in college basketball. They are not just assigned by scorers willy-nilly. There are 7 in the game at this point. It's a Buffalo basketball to start. Antoine Johnson back in and missing right at the rim. Rebound for Bracken Hazen. Ball State +1 on the glass. Had the first 3 rebounds of the game. Tajay Teague, tough shot. Rebound though, and how about Bracken Hazen? Right place, right time.
Nobody box Hazen out. Great second effort. And the putback, something that the Bulls usually do to their opponents.
First second chance points of the game for either team. Missed 3 for Jonathan Williams, is tipped out. Segu off the drive. Great kick to Williams. Slinking through the lane, lost the ball, and Tajay Teague wouldn't let go. That's a held ball, and it is going the other way.
For Ball State, it's good to see Tajay Teague really fighting for the basketball right there.
And watch the hands by Josh Thompson getting in there, knocking it loose. Thompson has had 2 steals in 5 of the last 6 games, really giving him a good job at the backup point guard.
They switched that arrow very quickly on me. It's staying with Buffalo, and Jonathan Williams, are we calling that a dunk?
I think we're going to have to call that a dunk. He grabbed the rim and the ball went through the goal.
I'll call it a scrape.
That's 7 for Jonathan Williams to lead Buffalo. 4-point Ball State lead, a quarter in. Thompson's left wide open. That is by strategy for Buffalo. Thompson missing, just a 23% shooter from deep. Williams is better than that, driving through Hazen. There's no call, and Williams finishes at the rim.
Williams is off to a tremendous start. He's a big guy who can put the ball on the floor. He drives to the rim, scores around the rim.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, identify him as the, quote, slasher, if you will. So good at getting to the paint.
Pressure now picking up on the ball here. Midway through the shot clock. Thompson, the backup point guard, is in. Finds El Amin in the corner. And the 3-1 drop. Cardinals just 2 for their first 8 from behind the line. Got to play the first 6 or 7 seconds of defense solid. Williams misses straight on. What did Jim Weitzel tell us, though? It's having a good shot in those first 6 or 7 seconds.
That's right. He's looking for them to be more efficient offensively. Still wants to run, but just be smart. And I think the Cards, Brian, will be happy to let Williams shoot threes in transition like that.
I think so, too. You know, he's certainly a capable 3-point shooter, but you've seen that when he puts the ball on the floor, he's very, very effective getting to the rim.
KJ Walton got caught up back door. Williams didn't want to foul him. Rock hard play situation, and KJ finishes in a tight space.
Nice pass there by Hazen.
You can certainly see the effect that KJ Walton's having on the game already. His athletic ability matches up with the guards of Buffalo.
Williams going right back to the rim and blocked. Tajay Teague. He has 2 points, but he has vastly impacted this game in other areas. He wants 3 more, and he's got 3 more. Straight on triple. Tajay Teague burning the Cardinals on all cylinders.
Teague just 13 points total in the last 2 games already early on with 11.
3 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. And the confidence to shoot that one straight on.
That's the type of threes that Ball State wants Tajay to shoot. Step in, 1-2 shot threes that are wide open. When he has an opportunity to shoot those shots, he has a really good chance of making them.
I know I misspoke. I said he had 2. he had 8 when I said that. So yeah, 11 for Teague, 5 of his first 6 from the floor.
Well, I think the most impressive thing about Teague in this last 5-game stretch, the maturity when he hasn't been scoring, it has not affected other areas of his game. And when he is playing defense, switching the pick and rolls like you see right here, that's where Ball State's at their best.
Teague's got the loose ball off the steal from El Amin. I'd actually argue with you that when his offense isn't there, it does affect the other areas of his game because he's honed in more. It's made him better. When he hasn't scored, I mean, he has tonight, misses there, and Mallers with the rebound off his arm. He has come to the realization over the last 4 or 5 games, I need to be better in the other areas, and that's what's helped Ball State go.
That's maturity. You're talking about a guy who's a 5th-year senior who's played in a ton of basketball games over the last 4 years. And when you have a guy like that, he understands that, you know, when his shot's not going, he has to do other things to affect the game. He's a leader on this team.
How about that? Another steal for him. And a great advance pass. El Amin up and under. All started by Jerron Coleman with a 40-foot pass. Largest lead for Ball State at 9. Segu with the crossover. Coleman sticking with him, and off the spin, Segu doesn't finish. And Teague with the save.
Great box out against Mbala. Right now, Cardinals doing a terrific job. Only 2 second chance points for Buffalo, a team that averages 15 offensive rebounds a game.
That is a foul on Mbala. Cardinals lead by 9. Defense to offense, fellas.
This pass by Jerron Coleman is excellent. That's the reason you have a guy like that in the game.
Now fans. There they are, your code red dancers. Fans, next up, you're heading to Rutherford Arena, Snag and Indiana work back work. A men's or women's contest. Package includes tickets, Pepsi drinks, chips, and your choice of hot dogs, props, or pulled pork for one great low price. Only a PSU ticket or visit ballstatesports.com.
Arena. Watching Buffalo Bulls tonight, you will notice an offense that loves to communicate and loves to assist. In fact, they lead the MAC in assists with 242 on the season so far, led by senior Devontae Jordan with 77. But perhaps more importantly for offensive teamwork is the fact that this squad ranks second in the nation for offensive boards, averaging at least 15 per game. Coach Whitford told his Cardinals that those active hands and feet are going to be key to slowing them down this night.
Sam, thank you. That's the thing tonight. They haven't gotten the offensive rebounds. They haven't gotten the second chance points. And Buffalo finds itself down by a game-high 9.
Yeah, just one offensive rebound. The other thing, Joel, 5 turnovers for the Bulls. A lot of empty possessions here in the first half.
They've been a feast or famine team, Buffalo, when it comes to turnovers. 6 in their loss to Northern Illinois. But they had a string before that of 18, 18, 19, and 20. Luke Bumbalow back in off the bench, 2 in black for the Cards, gives it up, step in, El Amin is short. Ball State still shooting almost 60%, 12 for 22. Johnson, capable from 3, around and out, rebounded by El Amin, and a foul by Mbala, 90 feet from his own bucket, his second. You're fine giving up that shot to Johnson. 40% at Middle Tennessee, 29% from 3 at Buffalo.
It was a late challenge 3, and that's the kind of defensive possession the Ball State needed. They did a great job of sprinting back in transition, building walls, slowing down the basketball, and they didn't allow Buffalo to get into the lane and drive and kick.
Yeah, Johnson has just struggled. 5 for his last 29 field goal attempts. For the Bulls to get where they want to go, they need him to be that third scorer.
Jerron Coleman, he can be that third scorer for Ball State, and that had been a question for them coming into the year.
Jerron Coleman is a very, very unique player. He's not the most athletic guard in the world, but he's certainly very smooth. He has a great handle, and because of his size, he's so effective.
3 for Javon Graves. At least settles his team down a little bit. Buffalo had been 1 for its previous 5. Midway through the shot clock, Teague is on the bench for the Cardinals with 11 points. Bumbalow rising from 3, cans it on the wing. He has come into his own since conference play rolled around, 4 days ago?
And that was all triggered by El Amin getting to the paint. paint touches for both of these teams. We saw Devontae Jordan a little bit earlier. Brian getting to the paint, creating for his teammates. Got to shut off that dribble penetration.
Absolutely. We talked about in the open that El-Amin is a former point guard. Right now, Ball State has 3 guys on the floor that are true point guards, and that gives them the ability to drive and kick to each other.
Mismatch here.
Driving right by Johnson past El-Amin, gets to the rim. What didn't work there if you're Ball State?
Well, got the Cardinals caught in rotation. Good job attacking the rim there. Nobody stepped up to help. And if you're Johnson, maybe that's what he needs to get something going. Just see one go through the net.
Here's Bumbalow. Hit the key free throws down the stretch. Friday against Toledo. He's going right back to the line tonight against Buffalo.
Luke Bumbalow showing some of that football toughness right there. Love seeing Luke Bumbalow put the ball on the floor, drive hard, straight to the rim, finishing with power right over Segu.
Foul on Segu is his second. Yeah, Luke Bumbalow was a football player in high school at Newcastle. Actually had an offer to come play at Ball State.
A very good football player at that. A slot wide receiver in the Julian Edelman role. Led the state in receiving, I believe.
Why you gotta pick a guy that just got bounced this weekend, though, man?
Hey, they've had a great run over there in New England.
Not a lot to be sad about. Williams, he's gone quiet. 9 points for the Bulls, but it's been a couple of minutes since he's hit one home. Coleman, uncontested into the paint, and then just threw it to nobody. Turnover, easy bucket for Johnson, made it hard, and that's a credit to Bumbalow, who does get the foul, but he made sure the guy missed the shot.
Absolutely. On this turnover, James Whitford has to love the effort by Luke Bumbalow. He sprints as hard as he possibly can and gets a foul right there. Doesn't give up a layup. You got to love the effort.
That should be an easy bucket.
That's right. They always talk about next play. And Johnson struggles. Boy, Buffalo as a team, Joel, just 63% from the charity stripe. And you know, in the MAC, especially on the road, you're going to be involved in close games. You got to start making your free throws at a higher clip.
1 for 2 at the line. If you could make it out at home, the student section was chanting tater tots. If a player on the opposing team misses consecutive free throws here in Muncie, everyone in the arena gets free tater tots at Roots Burger Bar downtown.
If you're the Bulls, you've got to string together a couple stops in a row.
Bracken Hazen saving it in the backcourt, and it stays with the Cardinals. 13 to shoot. The pressure has upped by Buffalo's guards. Ball State had too much time to think, and that's why they maybe came out hot.
There's no doubt about it. As the half is worn on, Buffalo is really starting to turn up the intensity right now. Ball State has to calm down. They got to make sure they get to the rim, but they have to get solid shots right there.
That's not it for Jerron Coleman off the side of the backboard. Buffalo will go quickly. 3rd fastest tempo offensively in the country. Long 3. Johnson missing again. Walton spinning away with the rebound. No numbers for KJ Walton. It doesn't matter. The layup puts the lead back up to 13.
Walton looks like he hasn't missed a beat. Even though he's missed some games with an injury, he's jumped right back into the game, and he's very effective already.
Perfect 3 of 3 from the field for Walton.
Missed the opener in conference, ankle injury against Toledo Friday night. Johnson, little hesitation, spinning down the lane and scores.
Good job by Johnson, struggling with the jump shot last couple times, putting it on the deck, getting to the rim and finishing. Well, if you're the Bulls, you've got to get stops, Joel. You're on pace to give up 90.
Ball State shooting 59%. Coleman, 3 off a screen, doesn't get the roll. Walton! Somebody's got to box him out. KJ Walton rising up. Foul on Antoine Johnson. Where did you come from?
KJ Walton putting his Superman cape on, flying in with the greatest of ease with the putback finish.
Cardinal uniform soon, all right?
Please here, a very special happy birthday to Kids Club member Emmy McClellan.
KJ Walton, it's been a struggle for him coming back from an ankle injury, but guys, not tonight. He's 4 of 4.
He's doing it all, Joe. He's, Brian said, rebounding, slashing. He's done it all in just 7 minutes of action. What a huge lift Walton has given him off the bench right now.
Absolutely. Quality minutes. You have a veteran guy who's been around a lot of basketball games. Having that guy come back in, especially against a team like Buffalo that's full of athletes, when you can bring your own athlete to the table like KJ Walton, it's going to be a good thing for Ball State.
Let's go to Sam.
That's right, guys. In preseason testing, he actually measured a vertical of 45 inches. Now, to put that into perspective, that puts him among the top 10 in NBA history, just 1 inch behind NBA greats like Michael Jordan and Spud Webb. But, Joel, what makes that even more impressive is the fact that the redshirt senior comes in at 6'3", compared to MJ's 6'6" stature.
And that's the thing, Sam and BT and David, that Ball State had been missing. There was that athleticness, that explosiveness, the drive ability as a guard, that when he was gone, there's a missing dimension offensively.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the 2 losses in the 4 games that he missed against Northern Kentucky and Western Illinois, both games where they really could have used his perimeter defense.
He's phenomenal on defense, although Buffalo able to take him to task right there. It's the 3rd bucket from Devontae Jordan.
Tell you, both these teams, Brian, when they're getting to the paint, good things are happening. Got to shore up that dribble penetration both ways.
Absolutely. You know, Ball State's doing a good job of getting to the lane, but the pressure that Buffalo's putting on them.
Air ball from Josh Thompson. Got to be good in the first couple seconds defensively against the Bulls. Right down the lane, Williams. I mean, they're getting shots off 5-6 seconds down the court. For the most part, good.
Here's the thing, Joel. It's been one and done.
Mallers 1 and done. How about the little subtle fist pump after that went in for the ever so calm, cool, and quiet Kyle Mallers?
You got to give some credit to Josh Thompson, who just makes the simple play. Driving kick, gets Kyle Mallers a wide open shot.
Missed 3. Right back out to Devontae Jordan. He'll try again. Missed 3. Rebounded. Nickelberry. And the Memphis transfer resets. Graves. Hook down. Lost in the lane. Walton, no numbers and no basketball. El Amin cleans it up. Tajay Teague thought about a 3 from the hash mark there. Nice pass. Walton can't handle it. And it does stay here, 15 to shoot.
You can tell KJ Walton is starting to get fatigued. As much time as he's missed, he's a guy you're going to have to get in and out of the basketball game to keep him fresh.
Yeah, the conditioning is real. You can't really simulate that in practice, can you?
Particularly against a team like Buffalo, Joel. It's going to go up and down the way they like to run.
And an ovation for Walton as he goes out. And that out-of-bounds play winds up out of bounds. Tajay Teague thought he was held. That is Ball State's 4th turnover.
Well, if you're going to turn it over, the dead ball turnovers, what you want against a team like the Bulls. If you're Buffalo, you're getting looks behind the arc, just not knocking them in. 3 of 12 from deep right now.
And a whistle on Devontae Jordan. That's a foul on the Bulls. They're going to give it right back.
Another empty possession for Buffalo. Those are not the kind of possessions they want.
I mean, let's put this in perspective on how you can win different styles of games. Ball State won its MAC opener on Friday night, 61-57. It has 45 points with 1:21 to go in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the number of possessions in this game is off the charts compared to what you saw versus Toledo. Here's the other thing. Remember, Mbala going out with that 2nd foul has saddled on the bench. I mean, that is a big-time scorer they're missing in their lineup right now.
And Buffalo, small as it is. 3 for El Amin, misses straight away. Jordan got underneath. Nice little curl for Devontae Jordan.
It's certainly the tale of two styles. Buffalo wants to play extremely fast. As you can see, Jerron Coleman walks the ball up the floor. Ball State wants to play a lot more methodical on offense.
Get into the half-court set here. Pick and roll action for Bumbleau. Just a little short. You know, you mentioned Mbala being out. You want to maybe be more aggressive on a play like that? Don't pull up so far from the rim. Little step back, drop him down for Segu.
Segu's playing good basketball right now. He's doing his best impersonation of Javon Graves from last year. He's the microwave guy that comes off the bench for Buffalo.
Yeah, he really is, and he's doing it all with 2 fouls.
16 seconds left in the half. Ball State plus 11 here. Buffalo is led by 1, Ball State by as many as 15. Coleman, 4 seconds. Kick out for Teague at the horn. Tajay Teague. Oh, it is all Ball State in the first half. Just routing a team that played in the NCAA tournament each of the last 2 seasons.
He's made just 2 of his last 9 in his last 6 games. The big fella, 2 triples in the first half.
Yeah, like nothing.
Your score at the half, Ball State 48 and Buffalo 34. Halftime is presented by the Hampton Inn. Fans 21 and over, you can refresh responsibly. Snag a Coors Light on the concourse. At halftime, plus Jennifer Cooper and her 18 concession staff have lots of arena favorites available right now, including Pepsi products, Texas Roadhouse Peanuts, Papa John's Pizza, Roots Burgers, Blue Bunny Treats, and the Red Gold Charlotte Cardinal Special. And also new tonight from Roots, try a Roots Chicken Sandwich. All right, fans, it's time now to meet this week's Pride Mark Student Athlete of the Week. For Ball State women's basketball, it's Telma Dis-Augustdottir. Dis-Augustdottir started off a busy week for the Cardinals by leading the team in scoring with a 21-point performance, 16 of which were in the second half, and an 84-49 win over Urbana last Monday in the non-conference season finale. It was the second straight contest that Dis-Augustdottir led the Cardinals in scoring. Against the Blue Knights, Dis-Augustdottir made 5 3-pointers while shooting 61% from the field. She also dished out 3 assists. On Saturday, in the Cardinals' back opening 66-62 win over Kent State, she had 11 points, collected a pair of rebounds, and also recorded a block. For the week, she led the Cardinals in scoring, averaging 16 points a game while connecting on 6 of 12 from behind the arc. Don't miss her and the Lady Cardinals back at Worthing Arena this Saturday at 1 o'clock when the women's team will welcome Eastern Michigan to Worthing Arena. Fans, congratulations to our Pride Mark Student Athlete of the Week. It's Telma Dis-Augustdottir. Now let's head back to the court. Welcome back once again, brought to you by Community Hospital in Anderson. Your code, Red Dance Team.
Everything coming up roses for the Ball State Cardinals through a first quarter against the NCAA tournament participant Buffalo Bulls. Ball State with 4 different scores, more than 7 points. Tajay Teague leading the way with 14. Brian Thornton, David Eha, Joel Godek, glad to have you along with us. Tajay Teague came to ball, guys.
Tajay T got off to a great start. 14 points, 2 for 2 from 3 in the first half. He's not a guy who's traditionally a big-time three-point shooter, but he lucked one in at the end of the half and made a straightaway one from the top of the key.
No, it's actually the thing that got him on the bench earlier in the season, taken out of the starting lineup for one game in the non-conference because he took too many threes against Loyola.
That's right. He shot 2 of 8 in that game. Didn't start the next game. In the last 6 games has gone 2 of 9, and all he did today in the first half is knocked in a couple of doubles. But Joe, for Ball State, they played 8. 7 guys have gotten in the scoring column. The one guy that didn't, Josh Thompson, leads them in assists with 4. So it's been a total team effort.
What's Jim Whitesell saying in that locker room? Because Buffalo's not accustomed to losing. It's certainly not accustomed to going 0-2 in league play.
It feels like Buffalo has to come out in the second half and really amp up that pressure. Ball State shot 55% from the field in the first half, which is really good basketball. So they need to come out in the second half and try to impose their will on Ball State and kind of shake up Ball State's young guards and see if they can have a big-time effect on the game.
It's hard to put a run together when you're not getting stops at the defensive end. We talked at one point they were on pace to give up 90. Now it's almost a hundo. If you're Buffalo, it all starts with getting stops on the defensive end. And the other thing, Joel, second in the nation in offensive rebounding, just 3 in the first half. So missing a lot of shots. Cardinals have done a great job clearing the defensive glass.
45% field goal defense. When they hold teams under that, that's a high number. Buffalo's 7-0. Above that, they're susceptible. And Ball State, you mentioned it, 55 at the half.
Mutual Bank, OmniSource, Pepsi, and Stoops Buick GMC. Opportunity awaits. Check out how Hoosier Opportunity is connecting companies with talent in Eastern Indiana. Visit HoosierOpportunity.com. Do your parents or grandparents need help staying at home? Livestream can help with programs and services such as in-home care, meal delivery, transportation, and more. Find out how Livestream can help by calling 800-589-1121 or visit livestreaminc.org. Livestream, life on your terms. First Merchants Bank is open for business. Your business. Visit them online at firstmerchants.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. McAllister Rentals, the cat rental store in Muncie, is your one-stop shop for rental equipment and shoring supplies. At McAllister Rentals, you'll find all the top quality equipment you need for the job. Visit them in Muncie, just off exit 241 on I-69.
How about a 14-point lead at the break over the 2-time defending Mid-American Conference champion Buffalo Bulls. Ball State Cardinals laying down the law in Muncie. Let's talk some history, though, for Ball State. Headed to the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, Steve Yoder, 1978 to 1982 was the head coach here in Muncie. And John Lee played in the 60s, 6th player to 1,000 points. Still, to this day, is 8th all-time in the scoring annals here at Ball State. Hall of Fame induction comes your way in March. in Newcastle, Indiana, where, of course, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame is. Info@hoopshall.com has all of your information to attend the banquet and the Hall of Fame ceremony. 14-point lead for the Cardinals. See if they can keep it going in the second half. As they get scored on.
Getting crushed.
All right, first half started well enough for the Buffalo Bulls. Nathan Williams was cooking, but other than that, they've got to get something going.
Yeah, that was one of their 3 made triples. They were 3 of 12. You can't fault Devontae Jordan. He played a full 20 minutes. He had 7 points, 3 assists.
Ball State was defense into offense. That's actually how Buffalo wants to play, was a clinic in the other direction.
Ball State played downhill. They kind of gave Buffalo a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. They played in transition. They scored around the rim. You had guys like K.J. Walton getting to the basket, and then you had a transition wide open 3 by Tajay Teague.
If that sentence in and of itself, if that's happening, you're probably winning.
Yeah, it's certainly an issue for Buffalo if Ball State is the team that's being better in transition.
But when it leads to a Tajay Teague 3. Like, that's the linchpin in all of it. And the turnovers. Ball State with only 4 of them. Sam Johnson caught up with the coaches. We'll touch up with her next. Second half is coming your way in just a moment.
Expecting them to come out more physically in the second half. I did, yes. Tuesday night action from Muncie, Indiana. The Ball State Cardinals hosting the Buffalo Bulls here inside Worthen Arena. Now, in preparation for tonight's game, Coach Whitford admitted that this Buffalo Bulls team would be much more physical than what they faced last week in the Toledo Rockets, and that was emphasized by Coach Matt Crenshaw at the half. He said they have to expect more physicality and pressure in the second half, but the key for his Cardinals will be to stay poised, control the boards, and hustle in transition. Joel?
Sam, thank you. Controlling the boards, they certainly did in the first half. That was a big key for it. Buffalo, only one offensive rebound, second best team in the country. A defensive rebound to start it off, and the Bulls' first possession.
Cards ran a set play, try to get Mallers a three coming out of the halftime.
Devontae Jordan driving down the lane, missing right at the front of the rim. Rebound down to Tajay Teague. That's 6 for him. Out to Bumbalo. Quick three is short. 2 quick threes for the Cardinals on their first 2 possessions.
It was a quick three, but that Bumbalo three was an open three. That's the unique thing about having a guy like Tajay Teague. He can push the break and get open shots for your guards.
There's Josh Mbala. Limited in the first half, 2 quick fouls, and he played only 7.5 minutes. It'll be interesting to see how the tenor of the game, particularly on the inside, the physicality, changes here in the second half.
Making his presence felt early.
Tajay Teague going to work against him. Down on the left block. Opposite kick out for El Amin, 8 seconds to shoot. Out to Teague, thought about a third three, little drive and kick, 3 to shoot for El Amin, and the straight-on 3 is pure.
Very, very patient possession right there by Ball State. Tajay didn't force it when he got the ball into the paint. He kicked it out, he set a ball screen, and Ball State kept playing.
And that all is triggered by the fact that Teague hit 2 threes in the first, because if not, they don't run at him.
Absolutely. Mbala ran, got the defense in rotation.
There's a foul on Bumbalo. Got up in the face of Devontae Jordan, who was celebrating that he got the call. It's a role reversal there. Usually, Jordan is the defensive pest of the Mid-American Conference.
You're definitely seeing Ball State feel good about themselves. They're trying to amp up their pressure.
It's only Ball State's 5th foul in the game. Mbala stripped by Teague. Stays with the Bulls. Javon Graves. Back to Mbala. Falling, the Texas Tech transfer gives it to Teague. I mean, that's a guy who about averages a double-double. 11 points, 9 rebounds. Locked up. Teague drives right through him and stands over him. Got to be a little bit careful not to get a tech, but Teague's got some swagger. Buffalo needs an answer on both ends of the floor. Antoine Johnson doesn't have it. Good hands by Coleman. Great pass by Teague. El Amin, skip pass. Mallers misses. Ishmael El Amin, I don't know if you guys saw it. stood at the bottom of the screen with his back to the bucket, waiting for the ball to go in the net.
He was certainly ready for an explosion right there.
Jordan, it's not going to look great on film, probably. That's a travel. My gut tells me some assistant coach, be it Ben Botts, Matt Crenshaw, Jason Grunkemeyer, going to highlight that one in a film sesh.
Absolutely, especially if Ball State keeps playing the way that they are right now and they can finish this one off. That'll be a fun one tomorrow.
Like, swagger's good, but El Amin with the ball now. Coleman, drive right down the lane. Guys, why can't Buffalo keep the Bulls out of the paint?
Yeah, I tell you, the pick and roll is killing them right now. There's no help coming off the screen. The guards are getting hung up, and that time Boogie Coleman uses his body to protect the basketball and getting all the way to the rim.
Johnson, long.
Historically, Buffalo has used the I got it method on defense with their ball screen defense.
They got nothing right now. Game high 21. El Amin can have all the swagger he wants. Timeout, Buffalo. There's going to be crowds in Muncie as long as this keeps up. It's a 9-0 Ball State run.
Coleman, the look ahead. El Amin, the run out and finish.
Charlie, you know you can't talk, right? Charlie has a really nice hat. You guys have any of those hats? Do we have any Pacers fans in the crowd? We have a special deal for you. Ball State has partnered with the Pacers to celebrate Ball State University Hat Night. Join us February 7th. Pacers taking on the Toronto Raptors. You'll receive a special Pacers and Ball State hat with each ticket purchase. Tickets start at just $29. Go to Pacers.com/Ball-State Night to secure your seat and hat. Today we say, go Cards and go Pacers!
Well, Ball State has it rolling offensively. We talked about that last possession with the Coleman shot. The pick and roll, Boogie Coleman, one of his specialties. Let's take a look. Here you see Teague set the screen. Really, Mbala doesn't step out to stop the drive. And Boogie Coleman gets the angle, goes all the way to the rim to finish. Right now, it is all about defense, and that's why Coach Whitesell had to call that timeout.
Part of the problem with that is Buffalo is not pressuring the ball in the way that they need to pressure the basketball. Historically, they've pressured the ball at a level where they have not needed the help from the bigs. Right now, they're not pressuring the basketball, and the bigs not being there is really hurting them on defense.
You call that the I got it method of defense?
That's the I got it method. The guard takes it and he says, I got it.
Inside to Williams here. Buffalo just needs points, too. On either end of the floor, cannot get it going. And that's a whistle against the Bulls, and the third on Josh Mbala. And he'll go out. Brock Bertram in.
Yeah, Teague boxing out on the weak side. You can watch Mbala with the push-off right under the basket. Easy call for the official.
So Mbala sits down. He's your starting five-man, and he'd really been your only five-man for the season. And that is out of bounds. Devontae Jordan, good job to force the turnover. Get Buffalo some energy here. But Brock Bertram is the guy that comes off the bench. Guys, it's his first action of the game and just his second game of the season, thrown into the fire coming off an injury. It's a foul on the Cardinals.
I tell you, you're right. Bertram missed 13 games with a stretch fracture, but right now you're seeing the leadership of Devontae Jordan trying to inspire his group. That last defense that he forced the turnover. That's why he was two-time all-league defense.
Coleman had an I-got-it defensive spot there, just didn't come up with the ball. Leaves Graves wide open to go to the rim.
David, you're perfectly right. They have to continue to turn the defensive pressure up. It can't just be one possession at a time. They have to do it time and time again if they're going to get back into this basketball game.
And look at just how close Johnson is to El Amin. Attached to his hip, but can't keep him away from the rim.
Sometimes you just got to credit the offense. I thought that was good D. A little floater by El Amin.
That's good offense, too. Johnson and one. And he's got to be careful. He hung on the rim a good long time there, and he has been teed up for that already this season. There's no call there as it takes us to a timeout. 19-point game, though. Ball State has the lead, but that team's just looking for something to get its mojo flowing. That second pull, it sometimes gets you.
The playing fields into the classroom. The Cardinal Varsity Club is celebrating 60 years of supporting student athletes. Each year, the CBC raises money for student athletes' scholarships and operating costs for all of Ball State's 19 athletic programs. For more information on how you can join the CBC, log on to ballstatesports.com. Fans, have a nice round of applause for Lou and Kate Gillespie, our CBC members of the game. All right, check out Church Vision. It's time for the Bongo Camp. Brought to you by our friends at University Avenue Dental.
Ball State has led by as many as 21, 19 points the advantage here still early in the second half. Cardinals looking for a 2-0 start in conference play, and you can take down an NCAA tournament team from a year ago. Led by Tajay Teague and Ishmael El Amin tonight, having another fantastic game. One of the biggest jumps in point production in the conference, plus almost 8 points. How about Josh Mballa, though? He leads the MAC in jump from last year to this year. Now, he didn't play a lot at Texas Tech, but he has taken on a different role, and the Cardinals have just wiped him out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a misleading. He played 58 minutes in 17 games at Texas Tech. However, I think he's really found a home in the Mid-American Conference with Buffalo. This league suits Josh Mballa, and for them to get the waiver the day before their exhibition game, that is huge, is going to pay dividends for Bulls this season.
Unfortunately for Buffalo, he's been very limited today with his ability to be on the basketball floor. Those 3 fouls that he has so far with 15 minutes to go, they got to get him in the game and get him going. And
here comes the full court pressure to try to create turnovers. If you're Ball State and handle it, you will have opportunities for easy baskets at the other end.
8 points for Antoine Johnson after the free throw. Chip away here. You've got plenty of time if you're Buffalo, so if you can go defense to offense, which is what they do.
The pressure they put at Northern Illinois at the end of the game with a 9-0 run.
Tajay Teague doesn't care. The most impressive thing Ball State has done today is handle any kind of pressure. And that's been the issue in years past against Buffalo and against other teams like it.
Without question, just five turnovers against this ball pressure.
Graves, an air ball, got it back himself. Shot clock did not reset. Now it does. Tip back again is out of bounds, and it will stay here. They're going to have to check the shot clock, though, because it reset to 30 on the offensive rebound, and now it's at 20.
You mentioned Javon Graves flying in there for a shot. Buffalo is really going to have to give Javon Graves going. We talked about him in the opening, a guy who's averaging 17 points a game. He's limited right now. He's only made 3 baskets. so far in this game, coming off a struggle against Northern Illinois. They really need him to perform.
Cardinals have done a good job just to shut down top scorers overall, be it Javon Graves or anybody. Williams with the block from behind. 3 of 10 tonight. You go back to the Toledo game. You know, Marion Jackson was just 3 of 11, their best offensive weapon. Non-conference Marcus Burke from IUPUI, one of the best scorers in the country. He was held to 6 points.
And look, that's where you talk about the maturity, Ishmael El-Amin. It's not just his production offensively, but he's been the guy guarding Graves.
Bertram deflected that off of Mellors.
Well, Williams got away with one there on the drive.
That's tough. Out of bounds on your face. It's a tough last thing to go out on.
It'll be interesting to see how long Mbola stays out.
Jumper Johnson. The threes have not fallen. 29% for him this year.
No
He's now 0
offensive
for
rebound.
3 in the game. And the offensive rebounds, yeah, that's key. 6 of them for Buffalo. El-Amin missing the jumper. The 6 seems high. Like the impact of that has been smaller.
Sure has. There's been a couple of tips around the rim that haven't really led to quality shots.
Johnson stepped through, no roll. No offensive rebound. Hook it to Teague. Beautiful bullet pass. Walton's blocked by Bertram. He's played better than Mbala on defense. Johnson, I don't know how he got through there. Layup is good for Antoine Johnson.
Antoine Johnson.
It's 10 points for the Floridian. Started his career at Ole Miss. Excuse me. Started his career at Middle Tennessee, where he was coached by Kermit Davis, who is now at Ole Miss. Teague. Got it. That's 20 points for Tajay Teague.
Tajay Teague with a great finish around the rim. Bertram is a guy who's coming off of injury. He's a little bit tired right now, playing fatigue. It's a perfect opportunity for Tajay Teague to continue to go at him.
Well, Bertram sees you there, Brian, and gets the rebound putback. First point for the junior out of Apple Valley, Minnesota.
And Bertram is absolutely gassed, hands on his knees. If you're Ball State, you've got to go into Teague.
And Mbala is set to check in.
If you're Tajay Teague,
look at him guarding Teague out there.
Nothing he wants to do with that. And, you know, if you're Tajay Teague, drive by him.
Absolutely. I mean, Brian, you're fresh off an assistant coach duty. Take me to the film room on that one.
Right now, Tajay Teague is going to the bench. He's a little tired himself. He's a guy who didn't want to put the ball on the floor. He loves shooting the 3, but when they get into that huddle, they're saying, Tajay, put the ball on the floor and score the basketball.
Let's see what Dara has in score. 30 seconds. There's $10. 20. Nice. The Grady style's working for you. The globe-trotting music, that will work.
15 seconds.
5, 50.
Ball State all over the Buffalo Bulls, and Tajay Teague is the big reason why.
Regardless of position in the MAC conference, you can see he can score in the post. He's capable of driving the ball to the rim. He can finish with either hand. And also today, we've seen that he's capable of knocking down the three as well.
He would always tell you he's capable of knocking down the three. It's just the day-to-day question of whether or not that's the reality.
He is capable of knocking down the three, and he shot a bunch of threes in high school, but that's not necessarily what he needs to be doing all the time.
20% on the season. But the thing James Whitford will always say is he has to take them when he's open, because he needs people to respect that. It opens up everything else. The question has just been the right decision-making, and tonight he's had it.
Yeah, that last one he took, probably the only poor attempt of the night, but the other thing, he's been a stat sheet stuffer. 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. Typical Tajay Teague numbers, doing it all. Mbala back in, see if he can't make a difference.
With 3 fouls, number 34 in gray. Johnson has been the offense and will try to continue to be so. To the free throw line here, missing off the front side of the iron.
Number 2, Luke Buffalo with the personal foul. It's his 4th.
Well, I tell you, Johnson's just such a strong upper body. 6'2" junior. Major hops.
Johnson shoots.
It's 4 fouls on Luke Buffalo. And Johnson at 73% is the first Bull into double figures with 11 points. The 9th player to transfer into the Buffalo program while Nate Oates was the head coach. Departed for Alabama in the offseason. Jim Weitzel takes over, but they built this program, talked about it a little in the first half, getting some really good 4-year players, but getting that next level transfer. That's how they got to the NCAA tournament last couple of seasons. Thompson in the corner. First one to go down, and now everybody that's played for Ball State has points to their name.
And that was all set up by Coleman, handling that incredible ball pressure from Devontae Jordan and getting to the paint.
Jordan leaning in. The Cardinals are now 8 of 20 from behind the three-point line. One of the most efficient teams from three-point range, or at least one of the most voluminous in college basketball this season. 28th nationally in makes from deep. Coleman, nice pass. That'll put Hazen at the line. I'm going to see the replay there. Did he go behind his head?
Devontae Jordan. It's his second, and the team's second.
It was more over the head, but that's one of Javon Coleman's biggest attributes, his ability to pass the basketball. He also, with his size, he doesn't get rattled. That's such a unique thing for a freshman guard. He does not get rattled, even when against a guy like Devontae Jordan.
Bracken Hazen, Ball State now 5 of 5 at the line. I don't know if there's like a point guard height database other than having to go through everybody's roster. How often do you get a 6'5" point guard at the mid-major level? Ball State hasn't had one in at least 20 years. 2 for 2.
Certainly not very often, but his ability to put the ball on the floor and to get into the lane and play with pace. That's the thing that he does. He's not a jet, but he's the guy who plays with phenomenal pace.
Hazen standing up to the task against Mbala on the inside. Wanting a 3, he was hunting that shot in transition. KJ Walton just did not see him to get him the basketball. Ball State has not dipped below 50% shooting in the game. Mallers trying to keep it that way. Loose ball. Buffalo has a chance to run. 3-on-3. Graves, pull up. Nothing is falling for the Buffalo Bulls but that. And LaQuill Hartnett to the free throw line, an and one opportunity. It's the offensive rebounds we've talked about all night. There finally is one.
Yeah, good job, Hartnett, getting position underneath. That is just their 7th and 8th second chance points. 8 offensive rebounds for the Bulls. But conversely, Ball State has 5 second chance points, so it's really balanced out.
Hartnett missed. Loose ball. The arrow stays here. So Buffalo will maintain possession. Second best team offensive rebounding in the country, though. So when you talk about how to beat Buffalo and how to carve the Bulls up, I mean, Ball State's been up by around 20 for the last 20 minutes of the basketball game. You're taking away something that is an ultimate strength I mean, they've got 20 offensive rebounds in a game twice this year.
Yeah, look, and no question, they're shooting poorly, so there's been numerous opportunities. Think of all the long rebounds going 3 for 15 from deep.
Although on the last two possessions, they have had offensive rebounds that have led to baskets. That's allowed them to set up their full court pressure and turn up the heat on Ball State.
Easily broken, though, and Tajay Teague, cherry picking, sends himself to the free throw line.
Counts the bucket, and he is fouled.
All right, now what do you do if you're Buffalo? Because you set up the press, finally something goes your way, and it gets picked apart like this.
Well, it's exactly what we talked about, Joe. It is so top-heavy to try to get the steals, create some turnovers. If you're able to break it, it gives you opportunities to score easy baskets. And that time, Teague getting to the rim, chance to make it 23 on the afternoon.
The assist to KJ Walton was his first. That's now 5 different Cardinals players with an assist. Everyone has scored. Offensive beauty.
Think about that. Ball State 14 assists to just 6 for the Bulls.
Segu, tough shot. Rebounded by Teague. And look at the big man on the break. Go right to the rim. Hazen overplayed the rebound. Buffalo has the chance to run. 3rd fastest offense in the country. Missing the 3, good look. And the Cardinals will settle it down.
Really smart play there by Josh Thompson. That's a senior, so it's getting a little helter-skelter. Let's set something up, make this possession count.
So important for Ball State to get a great shot on this possession.
Well, they might get him at the free throw line. Segu just trucked KJ Walton. It's only the 6th on Buffalo, so they'll shoot on the next one.
Buffalo foul number 10, Ronaldo Segu with his 3rd, team's 4th.
Oh, excuse me. Ball State had 5. It's only the 4th on Buffalo.
It's a tough matchup. Segu gives up a lot of weight and strength to KJ Walton. When Segu walked on campus at Buffalo in the summer 2018, weighed 143 pounds. Added 15 pounds of muscle, but still slight compared to Walton.
He used some of that strength right there to put Walton on his back.
Teague missing at the elbow. And Walton out of bounds.
KJ Walton is making his presence felt. Tremendous effort right there to give him the offensive rebound and give Ball State the possession back.
What do you think the last time KJ Walton weighed 144 pounds was?
5th grade.
You said that with the confidence of like you've had this conversation before.
Not exactly, but you know, he's built like RoboCop.
I think RoboCop is jealous. Jerron Coleman. Cardinals point guard has 5 assists already and 7 seconds to shoot. Coleman guarded by Graves. Coleman missed and the shot clock expires, but they'll say the first shot hit the rim. Just a graze keeps the possession alive, and Bracken Hazen is the benefactor. Segu, stop and go, right past Coleman. Oh, you don't have the weight and all the muscle in the world. You got to use that shiftiness.
No doubt, he's like a water bug out there. He gets to the rim, he has floaters, ability to really score the basketball.
I think water bugs understand the analogy that they have become in the sports world. Them and the Jitterbug family. That's turnover number 6 for Ball State.
I love the fact that Jerron Coleman cut off his cut. Tajay Teague had the turnover, but he immediately let Tajay Teague know that that was his fault. He raised his hand up. He said, Tajay, my bad. I love that team chemistry that Jerron Coleman just showed right there.
That's communication. When teams say we communicate really well, yeah, it's talking on defense, but it's also being able to put blame in the appropriate place, even when it's on yourself.
All part of being a good teammate. And how about this turnover by the Bulls?
We'll have to show it to you again at home. While Coleman was going to the bench, Segu just, did he step over the line on the inbounds?
I think he did. Nobody pressuring, no Ball State player even in the backcourt. Kind of that night.
Ball popped out of El Amin's hands.
Look at that hustle.
Nice save to get it back to Thompson. They have done everything right tonight. Thompson on the drive and kick. 18-footer short. Mallers, loose ball. Buffalo. I don't know how that's not a travel. And Bala slid 2 feet. Johnson going to the line. That's a missed call. And Michael Swoboda and crew are going to hear about it. Ishmael Alameen will bring it to Steve Junkin's attention. If you move distance without dribbling.
That whole play was a little helter-skelter. You got a guy that
is a
drove on the floor. That could have been a travel. Then you had an over and back. And then at the end, you have Josh Thompson who seemed to stand in there for a potential charge.
The Frontier would have charged you extra for that distance.
Got to pack a suitcase next time.
Takes us to the under 8.
It will be Buffalo basketball after the
Ball State still in control. It's a Buffalo basketball though.
Was a little bit on Kyle Mallers, but we only said we would do that if he's been super productive. No. Okay. Okay.
Let's take a live look at other games going on in action. Brought to you by Muncie Visitors Bureau.
Thank you. .752 left in regulation. A quick note for you about senior Kyle Mallers. He has never missed a game in his career. That's 112 games in a row, all while maintaining a 3.6 cumulative GPA and now in pursuit of his MBA here at Ball State. And we talked to him about how he manages the demands on and off the court, and he told us it's really knowing why I'm here, academics and basketball. He said the secret to his success is managing time between school, ball, and sleep. Joel.
Sam, thank you. He is the most quiet, calm, level-headed demeanor of anybody on this basketball team. And his team is up 16. He's 2 of 10 from the floor. He will take it any day of the week, and he does all the other little things that make him contribute as well.
The heart and soul of this team, and just a gutsy guy. I mean, we were there in Hawaii, played 6 minutes, came off that court in a boot, crutches the next day. 24 hours later, back in the lineup.
Missed 3 out of the timeout for Devontae Jordan. Loose ball, it's Kyle Mallers diving on the floor to keep it alive. Teague needs some help and has it with Luke Bumbalo. That sets a tone. James Whitford will tell you leadership is more about what you do than what you say. Case in point with Mallers. What Tajay Teague has done today is just about everything. Kick out there. Bumbalo wide open. Bumbalo, his second. He's come on in conference play. He had a dry spell going into the Diamond Head Classic in Hawaii. Continued a little bit, started to get going, but 19 points his last 2 games, and a trip down the spin cycle for Javon Graves.
In terms of Bumbalo, what's happened is he has an established role. He's moved into the starting lineup. He knows he's getting consistent minutes, and he knows what his job is in the basketball game. It's to make open shots. It's to find opportunities to score the basketball, and that's why he's having a higher level of success.
How much does it matter to know a role? Like, do you feel it when you're not quite sure what you're supposed to do?
Absolutely, and that's why you see at the beginning of the season, all these teams go through evolutions when guys just don't know the role. That's why it's so important for coaches to establish that so guys know what their responsibilities are.
Thompson missed the three. It's 4 on 5. Bucket for Graves. Mbala hurt his leg coming down under the bucket, and he limps over to the Buffalo bench. Their big guy has been held in complete check today. The fouls, he's been in trouble all evening, so that has helped, but he's just 2 of 4. See Mbala just uncontested. Ooh. That's almost the exact same place that KJ Walton injured his ankle for Ball State back in the Northern Kentucky game. Mbala at least able to get up and walk off the floor. Looks to be okay.
Does. Javon Graves starting to take it to the rack, struggled from deep, just 1 of 6. But if you're the Bulls, 6-13, down 15, it's now or never. You can't continue to trade baskets. It's all got to stop on the defensive end.
If you're Buffalo, you want to continue to chip away. You got 2 minutes before the next immediate timeout. If you can get it down to around single digits going into the final war, then you really have a chance.
That was the formula that worked against Northern. They didn't get the win, but 3:50 to go, they were down by 10.
El Amin quickly into the front court, just missed the floater. Last time Buffalo was within single figures was at 34-25. That was with 5.5 minutes to go in the first. So it's been a full half almost of basketball since they've been at that goal. Bertram rejected by Teague. Second block. Rim protector.
There's an opportunity right now for Cal Mallers to get loose. You can see Buffalo has both of their big guys on the floor right now, which should give Ball State an opportunity to put them in a lot of ball screen actions.
It's Bumbelow instead with the 3. Mallers fighting for the glass, winds up with Johnson. Falling to the cup, does score. It's the first time Buffalo has played both of their bigs together. Bertram, 41, and Mbala, who after twisting his ankle, stays on the floor.
Stopping a 3 here, make it a 10-point game. Big possession.
Mallers, a deep one. Spot up! Oh, off the wing! Kyle Mallers!
Cal Mallers is a really tough matchup for Bertram.
He's a tough matchup for anybody. Ball State has had an answer for every punch. And Mbala is out of bounds. There is something to a guy standing 25 feet from a bucket, just going, yeah, now.
Hand down, man down. Bertram doesn't want to come that far out, and let me tell you, that was a huge momentum basket. Buffalo starting to feel the juice, getting back in this thing. Could have taken the lead to 10, now all the way back up to 16.
Tajay Teague is the leading scorer for the Cardinals, 23 points. Being guarded by Mbala away from the bucket.
You can see Buffalo really trying to turn up the pressure right now.
Into a cutting El Amin. 6 seconds to shoot. El Amin falling away on Graves. That's against a tremendous defender.
What happens is when you put a ton of pressure on the basketball, it opens up the basket for back cut opportunities, and there's nobody around the rim.
Mbala with angles. Nice up and under, doesn't fall. Teague the rebound and the push. Teague has help. It's El Amin. Back to Teague. Oh, he gets it to go with the left. Give and go. Teamwork.
You can reward the big fella running the floor, 9 rebounds, and gets down in transition after he clears the glass. That is vintage Tajay Teague.
25 points, 9 boards, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Luke Bumbelow with the foul has fouled out. But with 3:41 to go, Ball State up 20. 94 feet in 6 seconds.
Now, fans, check out Shirt Vision in tonight's
Take a look at the video board to the TIS S-Cam. And I've got one t-shirt left. Who wants it? I can't hear you.
Mid-American Conference basketball on ESPN is presented in part by Hayes & Sons. We do restoration right. And by Mutual Bank. Go ahead, live a better life. Ball State by 20 over the Buffalo Bulls. It's been that way, give or take 4 or 5 points, since 5 minutes to go in the first half. Complete domination, guys. We revisit the keys off the top. This has been a surgically executed game plan.
You look at points off turnovers. 8 points off turnovers for Buffalo is not enough. They're a team that capitalizes on playing downhill. Their pace of play is one of the highest in the country, and they're not doing a good job of scoring in transition.
And you look at the fast break points, 11 for Buffalo. Ball State actually with 12. So you've taken the team third fastest in the NCAA, and the Cards have turned it around, taken their turnovers, gotten out in transition.
You look at the second chance points. Buffalo only has 8. Offensive rebounds are the hustle stat. You can tell Ball State is hustling a little bit more than Buffalo here tonight.
It's always been the problem against Buffalo when Ball State has fallen. That's been the last couple of years that the Bulls have played very well against everybody. But particularly against Ball State, the hustle stats, the energy, getting caught in transition, offensive rebound, that's swatted, Mbala right in Hazen's face. Bracken Hazen gave him a nice little pat on the chest there. He knows what just went on.
Ball substitution number
Segu returns for Buffalo. Ultimately, this comes down to defense. Buffalo, in its 3 main losses, I mean, it lost to UConn, but I'm putting that aside. Dartmouth, Army, Northern Illinois. 46, 54, and 54% allowed defensive field goal percentage. Ball State is shooting 50% tonight. You have to defend better, and it's the reason the Cardinals have won games. They've held Buffalo almost 20 points below their average. That's a brick with the shot clock winding down for LME.
No question. I mean, that's the area the Bulls will have to shore up. Came in 11th in the MAC in field goal percentage D. It is hard to make a run to get back in a game when you're trading baskets. You simply have to get stops.
Sorry, that was a 2-foot on the line, rebounded and put back in by Janathan Williams. But from the Ball State perspective, they are the best defensive team in this conference. That's a foul on Mbala, his 4th. They will have, after today, won 9 games. And only 2 of those 9 opponents will have scored more than 60 points. Tonight is one of them. But, I mean, they're winning, holding teams to 40 and 50 points and playing exciting, fast-paced basketball. They do work in sync sometimes.
Absolutely, and that's what James Whitford has been preaching from day one, and he's seeing it play out with this group.
2.5 minutes left to go. It is a marathon, not a sprint. You said it off the top, though, E. It's good to be 2-0. Bracken Hazen is fouled. It's a baseline inbounds coming up here.
You can tell Ball State is just playing so connected as a unit.
Buffalo foul number 2, Antoine Johnson with his 3rd. It's team foul
Hazen will actually go to the line. It's team number 7 foul, so 1-1. You know, I mean, you look back to James Whitford's 2nd year here. Ball State started 2-0 in conference, did not win a game the rest of the season. So 2 games is what it is. It is 2 games. But let's look at this pressure point. What have you guys learned today about Ball State and where this could project, and what kind of trouble is Buffalo in?
You know, I would say that the thing about Ball State is they're playing so connected as a unit. It looks like they're having tremendous fun out there playing together. And if you're having fun playing together, you always have a chance to play good basketball. In terms of Buffalo, this is not the start they were looking for. You know, a team that has been to the NCAA tournament the last 2 years to start 0-2 in a wide open league. Hopefully for them, they can get healthy and they can play well in the next couple games.
9 for 9 at the free throw line. It is the great injustice of the giveaway here at Worthen Arena. You get free tater tots when opponents miss free throws. You get nothing for going 9 for 9 as a team. Out of bounds. Jonathan Williams just slammed the ball, upset with himself. Could have been a technical there.
Well, you talk about Ball State, Joel. I think the other thing when you came into this season, defense, an area they wanted to shore up, and three-point shooting. Cardinals again with double-digit made triples.
Look at the way they execute. Pick and roll to Josh Thompson.
You talk about coming into this season, Ball State is such a different team than they were last year. Last year, they relied so heavily on their seniors and Trey Moses and Taylor Persons, who were all conference level players. This year, they're more of a balanced team that has a group of guys who all play really well together.
Out to Thompson for three. That's again good playing together though. The unselfishness. Cardinals have 17 assists and a steal. El Amin has Thompson, feeds Thompson, and Josh Thompson just leaves it short. He won't go to the free throw line though. Foul on David Nickelberry is the first on the Memphis transfer. Largest lead here at 22, sorry.
That's certainly a layup Josh Thompson should have made, but he definitely got fouled. Got to go to the line and knock down these 2 free throws.
Tell you, really good game for Thompson on the bench. 5 points, 5 assists, just 1 turnover in 19 minutes.
Both sides clearing out the benches a little bit here. Savion Gallion, the freshman from Washington, D.C., has checked in. And there'll be an ovation as the frontline guys go out for Ball State.
13, Benai 44. Blake Huggins at 0. Myron Thomas all check in.
Thompson hits the second. Blake Huggins, Myron Thomas, Lucas Croft, and Ace Acree check in. Josh Thompson remains on the court.
And Joel, Buffalo's next game is Friday against Miami. They're going to go to Indianapolis and spend a couple days there. They're practicing at Hinkle Fieldhouse, but it's going to be a long couple days on the road. Going 0-2, and boy, talk about ramping up the importance of that game Friday at Millette.
Well, Miami is playing Bowling Green tonight. The MAC preseason favorite and leading with 3 minutes left to go at Bowling Green. So that is what lies ahead. Ohio right now is leading Eastern Michigan by 3. Northern's beating Central. They could go to 2-0. Gonna be an interesting start to league play. Inside a minute to go, Ball State looking for that 20-point win. Acree, a deep 3 off the wing, does not get the bounce. James Whitford wants to see the bench hold this solid though, here in the last couple seconds, and a foul on Blake Huggins. Puts LaQuill Hartnett at the line. You know, led at Georgia Tech by 30, won by 18. And it was the reserves that came in and did not probably play to the level James Whitford wanted. That shrunk that lead. It's not just about, hey, I get to play here. It's go execute, earn yourself more minutes.
Absolutely, but right now, Blake Huggins is the fan favorite because with that foul and missed free throw, tater tots on the line is about the only thing left to play for right now.
Listen to him. Incredible. Tater tots! They wanted that more than they want the win. Fickle.
Got a lot of happy college students in here tonight.
Tater tots for all these people.
Does that include us?
I believe it does. You need proof of entry, so bring your credential. Final seconds tick off. This is a statement victory. Ball State knocks off the 2-time defending Mid-American Conference champion, and it did it by 20 the whole way in the second half. It was never in doubt. it's not like people didn't expect Ball State to be good. But I don't think anybody saw it coming quite like this. Samantha Johnson has James Whitford.
Coach, you've knocked off the two-time defending MAC champion. What was the difference for your men down the stretch?
I'm sorry?
What was the difference for your men down the stretch, knocking off the two-time defending MAC champion?
I thought we made a lot of shots. You know, it was one of those games where things were clicking, and sometimes that happens. And then we defended pretty well, like we have been, and we played well on offense, and we really shot the ball well.
Absolutely. Your defense held them to 68 when they're averaging 80. What does this do for your men moving forward?
It was good. You know, our transition defense has been a staple for us all year, and that was the real test tonight. And we were tired out there. I could see our guys gasp, but did a great job there.
Absolutely. Coach, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Congratulations to James Whitford. The good news is they don't play until 9 p.m. on Friday. So they get a little bit extra time to get those legs rested up when they go to Akron this weekend. It's a 2-0 start, though, for the Cardinals in Mid-American Conference play. For Brian Thornton, Samantha Johnson, David Eha, my name is Joel Gadet. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a great time, so too did Ball State. It's a 20-point win. To watch a replay of this and other games in our ESPN family of networks, head to the Watch ESPN app, or head to Watch ESPN or the ESPN app. Good night.